Well, this was technically a series. Games were played. I don't know what else analysis wise you want from me. Beat down, one competitive game, smackdown that was so bad they could have called the series here, and then a game four that was even worse than that. Tyler, we actually were uh I don't want to say watching because it was just on in the background and we occasionally would look over during game four with Cleveland and Miami. And this was just terrible. I mean, this was. I'll give Miami credit, and then you're not going to be the first person to hear this. If you've seen any social media posts, you've probably seen some variation of this joke before. I'm just glad that Miami made it quick and just didn't try to hang around. Just we're done here. Let's just Cleveland. You're an entertaining team. Let's move on. Cavs win by 55. Absolutely, just destroy Miami. Miami will forever be known as the first 10 seed to ever make the playoffs from the play in. They'll also be remembered as a team that got absolutely blown up by Cleveland in 3 games. And one game they had was kind of competitive, which, to be fair, if you watched our tier list video, I said that Miami will have one game where they play absolutely crazy for no reason because that's what they do. But this was a Miami team that, did anyone really expect them to do anything after the Jimmy Butler trade? Did you expect them to do anything, Tyler? Because I didn't expect them to do anything.
No, I would say they very much overachieved expectations from just about everybody. Once that Jimmy Butler trade went down, you thought, okay, that's a clear sign. They really began to rebuild. So kudos to them, for doing what they did. But this series just showed to me everything I talked about in our, preview that, hey, this Cleveland team, ooh, scary, scary, scary. I do not want to see them if I'm the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals. I don't know if Boston wants a piece of this team. It's amazing what this Cleveland squad has been able to do in terms of building this roster. And it's not like it just came overnight. You saw the pieces get assembled kind of slowly but surely with Darius Garland, uh, Jared Allen trades, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley. It's just done such a good job of balancing out this roster.
Yeah, and I mean, on the Miami side here, just looking at it, everything we knew about Miami, nothing changed in the series. Davion Mitchell, he had some good games. That was nice. Tyler Hero had his moments where he looked great and had his moments where he did not look great. That's the life of a three-point shooter in the NBA. I don't know if he should really be the number one option on a team. He kind of got thrown on that by default after the Jimmy trade. But I'm with you. There's really no negative takeaway from Miami when you didn't expect to be here. This is more of a, I agree with you. This is more of a, this is how good Cleveland is. They're going to smack people around. Now, Indiana will be a different challenge for Cleveland, but there's really nothing I can take away from this other than just, this is how a 1 versus 10 would probably go. Now we've seen it. It was really bad. Some people want to get rid of the play-in now because of how bad this series was. I think they're wrong. I think the play-in should stay.
Spicy.
Yeah. Is that really that spicy to say I enjoy more basketball? I'm sorry.
I think it is to a degree because
basketball.
I think there's plenty of people that do view the play-in as relatively pointless. So
Yeah.
I would say it's along the lines of spiciness.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that, but I mean, Cleveland just, winning by 55 without Darius Garland, just ridiculous. Is there anything else I really need to say? Just destruction, absolute demolition, whatever else you want to say about it. Miami, it was a good run. Thanks for playing. Thanks for winning the play-in and making history there. Congratulations. Now the move is, what does Miami do? Because I think you're starting to tear it down a bit. You made the big trade. You start to, see what pieces you have, what you want to move around. Do you get that same feeling, Tyler, that Miami, if they want to rebuild, the opportunity's right there in front of them? But the East is still so weak that they could technically rebuild and still make their way into the play-in.
I mean, yeah, like you and Bam Adebayo kind of mentioned it. Like, he knows there's going to be changes, and he's going to be a centerpiece guy that you will probably rebuild around. Tyler Hero, like they've got pieces that I think their core is solid. It's just, can you now find that clear, true top guy? Who is that for this team? Because it's not on the roster right now. I think you've got some guys that are really good support players to that. They play some good basketball, smart basketball, but there isn't that clear guy that is going to carry you over the top like Jimmy Butler did. So you've got to find that person. Hey, is Giannis in the running here? Like there's some intriguing names you can float out there in terms of what Miami could pursue in this offseason.
Yeah, there's some names there that I think could be interesting. The funny one, I don't even know if you saw this floating around on Twitter, Tyler, but there was some posts about, Luka Doncic should go to Orlando. That would be a great fit. Why not Miami? It's right down the road. They're always a great free agent destination for some. If we're gonna throw that land of lunacy out there, put anyone's name to Miami, and they could instantly rise back up the ranks and be a decent team in the East. It does not take a lot to be a decent team in the East. And I think it's going to get easier with Milwaukee being in the situation they're now in. I mean, think about it, Tyler. Who you look at the Pistons are going to go up. What would it take to be a 6 or 7 seed in the East? Miami was 10. What would it take to be a 6 or 7 seed next year? Assuming Milwaukee does something drastic and blows it up.
Right. Yeah. Not probably as much as you would think.
Yeah, honestly.
So that's just the nature of the business. We're not trying to take shots at these, but that's just where they're at. The top of the conference is really good. I'm scared of Cleveland as a Thunder fan.
Yeah.
Boston's obviously the champs, so it's not like we're trying to say that you can't produce champions out of that side. But yeah, as far as the middle to bottom of the East, not really all that great most of the time.
No, I mean, it really isn't. I mean, if you're telling me Miami couldn't go toe-to-toe with some of those teams, they already proved it. They made their way through the play-in tournament. They found a way to beat a 9 seed, and they found a way to beat an 8 seed. They can get things done here. This is not the end-all, be-all here. And, this is going to go right back to what we talked about in the darn tier list video about Miami's still going to have their opportunities. As long as they've got Coach Spo there, they're going to be fine. As long as they can make a few moves, they'll be fine. They're never going to be they've not been a basement dweller at all in my time. They're always going to be somewhere in the mix.
No question. And that's, in part because they're one of those teams that kind of refuse to say, hey, we're going to throw in the town and rebuild. Obviously, Coach Spoelstra, fantastic coach. You could argue maybe the best in the NBA in terms of just pure X's and O's. Pat Riley obviously is proven continually to be a good talent evaluator, finding guys that fit what he envisions to be the Heat culture. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those franchises that you can't count out ever. There's a couple other franchises in the league that say, hey, they're going to find a way to mess this up. Miami's not one of them. They always seemingly have something up their sleeve.
They got a few people in their division that are definitely like that, but not them.
Not them.
They'll find a way. Listen, all I'm saying is if Orlando could go 41-41 and win the Southeast, I know no one cares about divisions in the NBA. Why not Miami next year? Find a way to go 43-39 and win the Southeast. It could happen if Orlando's that injured again next year. It could easily happen.
No question.
But Tyler, you know what we got to do to them. Miami, it's time to put the fries in the bag. Put
them in the bag.
Put them in the bag. It was 3 ugly games of basketball, 1 decent performance that showed what Miami can be when they're on their A game. But that was about it. So, folks, as always, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. I know most people that watch these videos are not subscribed. It takes only a few seconds. You just click one button. That's all. It's free. There's nothing you got to pay. Why would you pay to watch this? YouTube. It's a free service. But as always, hit the subscribe button. When you do that, a little bell icon will be there. That's the notification bell. Click that to be notified, as always, when new videos come out. And leave a comment down below. What should Miami do? How does Miami kind of stack up? What do you think going on next year if you're a Heat fan? I mean, this was a buzzsaw you were going to run into. I think there was no denying that. Your end goal was just to get here. You knew what was going to happen when you played Cleveland. I think everyone agreed with that. But, leave your comments down below, kind of what you think Miami will do. And, folks, until next time, have a good one, everybody.